Hello out there, world mongoose conservation friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's Thursday the 27th of February 2025 and it's a very windy day here in the Meerkat Magic Valley Reserve of the Meerkat Magic Conservation Project, and I am currently busy tracking down the Tsebokolodi yellow mongoose group, Cynictis Penicillata mongoose magic moments. I thought for today's video I would show you what it is like to actually search for these mongooses here in this very dense and very dry vegetation. And because it is so dry and burned out the way it is at the moment, makes it even more difficult to find these incredibly well camouflaged mongooses. However, they know me and I know them, and I have identifying calls, and anybody who's watched my videos since 2008 will know I have been following this family group of many generations since, and they know the different sounds that I make. So I'm going to start making an approach call. They know the sound of my voice as well as different codes. On very windy days like this, it's also important that my calls can travel extra far. If they are anywhere in this area right now, I will see them stand up and possibly approach to investigate me. In the distance, a shout out to you, Eugene, Furi, Klein Karoo, Yenning, Little Karoo honey. The best honey there is in this entire area. It's raw, it's organic, it's badger friendly, and it's highly recommended by myself, and it is of course on the reserve. So typically this is what people would see if they were to move into a wilderness space. This, nothing beyond this. So let's see if this changes. Again, this is a hands-off research and conservation project, and as a professionally qualified nature conservationist since 1993, my primary objective is entire habitat conservation, not simply one species. So I do not specialize in only looking at the meerkats, for example. I work with all the different animals and plants in an entire habitat. I will be checking for tracks and fresh signs at one of the sleeping burrows, which is well camouflaged here. It is cordoned off to prevent potential damage from livestock who don't know any better. They will walk onto burrows because they don't know the area, and that can of course destroy wildlife ecosystems. And this is a wildlife hotel. See, there has been some fresh digging, possibly from this morning because it has been very windy. I see, here we go. Incredible. This is the dominant female, Cucciolina, I confirm. And she has of course been watching me as I approach this particular burrow system, and it's quite a while before sunset. And here, beautiful, we have the dominant male, Gakulu Morla. For those who saw the previous video, Morla was given to Gakulu as a middle name, and it's from the Never Ending Story. I take international votes on the YouTube channel, and you can go into the comment section there and put in your own votes for names that you might like to see for the future generations. And depending on popularity, they may become the next names given. All right, I'm just looking to see where Squeaky Skoyatalo is. The youngest from October 2024. There's a brief cheek mark by the dominant male. I'm just standing still at the moment as I've approached here, watching them. They've identified me as a non-threat. They know who I am, and they have approached. There's a bit of auto-grooming from the dominant female, Gakulu, and a lovely sniff greet initiated by the dominant male Gakulu to the dominant female Gakulu, rather, from the dominant male Giabonga. It can get pretty confusing. Things happen quickly here. All right, so I'm not collecting this kind of data. I'm just mentioning these behaviors for interest. My interest is looking at long-term survival patterns over many years. And for those who have watched my videos, you will know that is a communal midden or latrine, communal toilet. And the curved arch tail like that is a sign that there is a sample being produced. That is a long-term scent post. I'm talking fairly loudly just to make sure that the voice carries in this windy condition. As you can see, I've been identified. The behaviors continue as if I'm not even here. However, they are fully aware of my presence, and anybody else who was to approach this area would not even see them. But of course, they will see anybody in the area. All right, and there is Squeaky Scoia'taelo. That is fantastic. All right, so demographics, population dynamics, confirm. All three are alive and well today, and Squeaky has been approaching from further away. And this is a great achievement for me to be able to see the youngest generation also recognizes me and will approach the burrow system with the adults. In the distance, I've just heard our dear Melanocephala, the black-headed heron. You can Google that. Also followed by the crowned plover, Vanellus coronatus, which is a terrestrial nesting bird. That means something has disturbed them. And I also see in the distance, there goes the black-headed heron. This landed on an Eskom electricity pole. And there's a lot of scolding and warning going on by the crown plovers. These are not Vanellus armatus, the blacksmith plover. Oh, I see at least 7. That's unusual. It's a whole congregation of them flying around together. So something disturbed them in the distance there. And that's what caused the alarm from the mongooses as well, who briefly looked up. But now there's some grooming by the dominant female, just some auto grooming again. And Squeaky Scoia'taelo again is squirrel in Italian. Cucciolina is little puppy. Dominant female's middle name Morla. Again, never ending story. You can adopt the individual mongooses here. And thank you to everybody for your donations through my PayPal, and also for going to the shop, which is linked on the main YouTube channel, and also for the likes and subscribes. We really do appreciate you and all the support. Please continue and share the videos with your friends and other people that you may know who could be interested. I am also doing very exclusive private visits, not more than 2 people at a time. Advanced bookings are essential. You can also find the details of that in my comments on my YouTube channels and other videos. All right, let's just see what's going on. So I'm watching the dominant female here and Squeaky at the same time, as the dominant male is investigating the burrows. An unfortunate devil thorn, Tribulus terrestris, which are growing right there. These are pioneer plants, and of course, in an area that has been recently disturbed with digging, these pioneers have a great growth cycle over here. They will often grow on disturbed soil next to the road or in digging areas. As an area becomes a climax vegetation type, the devil thorn will disappear and be replaced by the succulents here in the succulent Karoo ecosystem. All right, a little greeting by Squeaky as I stand here. I always wear the same clothing types. I've got tracksuit pants, even though it is 37 degrees centigrade with the wind chill. And I'm wearing a woolen cap to keep any biting insects away. It is not the most pleasant time when you get sunburnt and bitten by insects and would like to move or stretch, and you are unable to do that when watching wildlife that is very easily disturbed by such movements. These movements have to be earned over time. If I had to move now, I can destroy all the months of trust I have built with this squeaky Scoia'taelo generation right here. So I'm being extremely careful, especially because it is windy, and as I've mentioned before in many videos and in this one briefly, windy conditions tend to allow a lot of predators to move even more quickly through the air and attack at great speeds, and the vegetation moves suddenly and unpredictably, and I do not want to be associated with that. The talking would be replaced by calls. If I was not recording this video now, I would simply be calling. So the entire time I'm letting them know where I am, just like meerkats do, and what I do around meerkats is the same thing. For that reason, here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am. Everything is fine over here. I'm not a threat. I'm announcing my presence. I'm not being a stealthy predator. So they can focus entirely on everything else around them that could potentially be very dangerous. This is all associative learning, neuro-linguistic programming. Here we've got the dominant female again, Giabonga Cucciolina. Kakulu Cucciolina. I'm getting the names tricked around today. That is the female, not Giabonga, which is the dominant male, Giabonga Mala. Yes, they are tongue twisters if you're not used to them. Giabonga is thank you in Zulu. Kakulu is very much. So the dominant male's name and the dominant female's name were given to them by my mother, in fact, when they were born many, many, many years ago. And that is the dominant male now. Giabonga Mala. Another shout out to you, Alessia Torchini, for the names Cucciolina and Marla and Squeaky Scoia'taelo. I've been asked by many people, where do they see the full range of merchandise? I don't list all of them on the YouTube site, but if you press the link to any item, it will take you to the main shop, which is American based, and they deliver around the world. And then you can see over 180 plus different items per image range that I use. So there are plenty of different types of images and merchandise types, so you can suit yourself. These are all directly from my conservation and research work, and also from my Meerkats book in 2016. The exclusive. And of course, if you're wearing them, you are a direct supporter of the Meerkat Magic Conservation Project. You can also choose to adopt the Tsebokolodi Yellow Mongoose group, which is also something I've started doing. And you can ask me specific questions about them privately, and I will answer your messages. All right, here I am looking right down. Look at this. This is quite incredible. I'm within a hand's distance of Squeaky Scoia'taelo as they sit pretty much within 50 centimeters of my feet. The dominant female standing up, constant vigilance here, and an incredible selective trust. In the distance I hear some cattle, migrant cattle in the area moving from one property to the next. They of course bring in what I call the insect hotels. Their dung is a fantastic nutrient base for many insects to go underneath. And then of course, just like Squeaky is doing right now, these will be dug up. It's incredibly strange to be able to look down at a wild mongoose and see them from this perspective. Look at that. How amazing. Mongoose magic moments right here. Such a delicate trust, so easily destroyed and never recovered if I was to be absent. find it here. All right, Squeaky's gone up, briefly sniffing Cucciolina and then doing a brief auto groom. Notice how, now that Squeaky is getting older, they are not being groomed as much and they are not being fed as much, and they are also becoming more independent and self-sufficient. As you can see, they are grooming themselves. I mentioned this in the previous video stream. Just watching things as they unfold. Dominant male. Right there. Let's have a little zoom in. Magnificent golden brown yellowy eyes with a horizontally slitted pupil, and that looks like black eyeliner, the mask. They're incredibly well adapted to this environment. And as I've mentioned before, and no doubt will do again many times and in my book, like the Meerkats, they are the hunted hunters. All right, a response to that distant call, and there is an escaped cow in the distance. I don't see where the rest of the herd is at the moment. Of course, the cattle here move through the area every few months. Dominant female again being vigilant. And Squeaky digging and then being excited. Oh, a jump over mark. Now that is very unusual to see. Jump over urine mark. It's very rapid, and usually it's basically a greeting and a scent association that is maintained within the group, I've noticed. Even from less than a meter away, they are so well camouflaged in this vegetation. When we get the winter rainfall arriving over hopefully the next few weeks, because we still haven't had any significant rainfall apart from a millimeter or so, 2 occasions since November, this entire area will become verdant and covered in colors, yellows and magenta, whites as well, of shades with pink, lots of orange, and the succulents will be coming up. At the moment, they are basically in drought mode. Let's have a little look around here as they carry on foraging. It's not that much time to go before sunset, so it's perfect timing. They've timed their movements over the day to get back to a sleeping area before it gets much darker and colder, although they are highly adaptable hunters. For anyone wondering, yes, there's a lot of repetition in my videos for first-time viewers, people who have not seen anything like this before. I like to just give them a brief overview, and then of course there's an entire archive of hundreds of videos you can go through and have a look at for more details. As I've mentioned, those who adopt the Tsebokolodi group are also welcome to private message me, and I will get back to you. You can also just put in your comments, ask questions, and I will also look at those and answer them in future videos. Brief mention again here: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Meerkat Magic Moments and Mongoose Magic Moments are all free to join social media accounts, where you can find the events happening on the reserve, including the Stone Dojo gym, Team Shongololo, the local children in the area that surround the reserve and that I support and sponsor, and then of course any other events as they occur that might be interesting. It's a wonderful snapshot into the fairly relaxed moments now, as they've had a good day of foraging, clearly, because they are not doing any digging at the moment. They're getting ready to settle down for the evening, it seems. Unlike meerkats, with their round pupils that are completely diurnal, yellow mongooses can be nocturnal, active at night, crepuscular, active at dawn and dusk, and diurnal. So basically, they are completely adaptable to food conditions, light conditions. It's incredible. And that is why they are out competing the meerkat in habitat types. I have noticed where meerkats will go extinct, yellow mongooses will thrive, because they have their carnassial teeth, the cutting teeth, upper and lower jaw. So they've got 4 extra teeth compared to the meerkats, who have no cutting teeth. So they are very easily able to digest foods such as snakes and mice and other larger vertebrates, which meerkats would struggle with in the wild and possibly spend their time trying to do that and end up becoming food for something else. All right, a brief urine mark by the dominant female, moving across to the left. These videos take me hours to upload. Please do send a like and a sub and a comment, and let me know what you'd like to see next time. Some questions. I'm always interested to hear your views. Thanks again for your support. I do appreciate everybody out there, and to our very valued sponsors, a big thank you. Have a great day, friends.